Welcome back, everybody, to another dicondissectional production hosted by Dethstrok9, and today we've got a special guest, Justin, JustJP. Hey, man.
Hello. Hey, what's going on?
Thank you so much for doing this. I really, really appreciate it. It's awesome that you agreed to do this.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, so here we're doing a little thing where we're getting to know each other a little bit better. We're also showing our support for each other's channels. And so he had a conversation with me, which he's gonna upload on his channel.
Yep.
And I'm having this conversation with JustJP, which I'm gonna upload on my own channel. So
yes.
If you want, go check out his channel. Go subscribe over there. He has awesome reaction videos, lots of prog, lots of awesome stuff. Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I really appreciate it. All right, and thank you, Justin, for joining me.
Happy to, man. Happy to. Absolutely.
So, let's see. Let's start this off with an easy one. Do you like to read?
I do like to read.
You do like to read.
I'll admit that I've gotten back into it recently, but there was a period of, a few years when I didn't really read much, honestly. But in the past 2 years, I'd say, I've gotten much back into it. I've actually been reading a book about prog. It is called The Show That Never Ends. I'd have to go in the room and look at it exactly, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, because especially listening to it, I kind of wanted to get a more in-depth history. So I bought that book and I've been reading that. It's actually really cool to see how all the music came from and all the influences, and it's really cool.
So this book it's specifically about prog in general, or is it about ELP's brain
as well? Yeah, it is. It is as well. Yeah, ELP are part of the focus of it. Mm-hmm. But it definitely stretches out into even Canterbury scene of Caravan, get into Yes, of course, and Genesis, things like that. But it's really cool. It actually gives a really nice insight into where the bands came from, who the people were that later became legends. Names that we know. Maybe not everyone knows, but we know.
Yeah. We know. Yeah.
We know. Yeah.
That's awesome. You'll have to send me a link to the book or the name maybe, and I'll go.
See
if I can get it anywhere.
Yeah. And then I love history. So I'm actually reading this book. It's about the Rwandan genocide, actually. Because I always thought that event was interesting in the way how could something so horrible and so huge just happen,
And
so
is it similar to the Armenian genocide where not that much attention was ever to it, right?
Exactly.
They kind of covered it up. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. I mean, honestly, of course it's tragic and it's sad, but it's a deep book. It's one of those emotional reads that you're reading and you're like, wow, how could a person turn on another person just like that? But it was the name of the book that caught my attention. Which now I'm trying to remember exactly how it was titled, but the name of it basically was Tomorrow Morning, You and Your Family Will Be Killed. That's the name of the book. So it's something exactly like that. I can't remember the exact name, but when I saw that title, I was like,
oh my.
Yeah, I was like, I have to read that book. So those are the two books right now I kind of have in focus. We'll kind of see where I go from there. I've been browsing at Paradise Lost. I've been reading that a little bit. I love old stuff like that. So I just think it's kind of a cool book.
Me too, yeah. If you could step into the world of any book, even if it was a history book, which one would you want to go into?
That's a good question. And the problem is I read a lot of medieval books and I don't really want to be in that time period. I'd be dead by the time I'm 40, so
that's true. Yeah,
I don't really want to be in that
expectancy. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Huh? I like that question. Now I'm trying to think of what else I've read because I don't want to be in any of the books I just mentioned. Maybe the Prague one.
Maybe the Prague book.
I was going to say, out of the ones I just mentioned, I think I'd want to be in the Prague one to be at least to see those shows.
Yeah. Or you could be one of the members of one of those bands. Would you?
No, I don't have the hands. I don't have the hands for it.
Well, I mean, I guess if you were okay, yeah, if you stepped into the world, okay.
I want to see the show. I would. It would be so cool to see ELP like in their prime. Yes, like doing their thing. You know, that'd be cool.
Sometimes like people will leave comments and be like, "You should have been there," and I'll be like, "Damn it, I wish
I'm jealous."
Yes.
Like so many comments. Oh, I was back there in '79 and I saw this, and this, and I'm like, I'm living vicariously through you. I'm living through you. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I put myself in the audience.
That's very interesting. So it's like, wow. So that's what some people would say about like reaction videos, and then you flip it, you know?
Right.
Now we're taking from the comments. That's crazy. Wow. All right. So would you say that like prog is your favorite genre of music?
You know what's really funny? I get that question sometimes in the comments, and I always feel like I'm disappointing people, not because it's not necessarily my favorite, but because I don't really have like a favorite genre. Like,
that's never disappointing, you know? Like I really don't either, you know?
Yeah. Like it's weird because like, and I've mentioned this before, like on my channel, but like without sounding generic, I really do kind of listen to like everything. So I really don't have like a favorite type of music, you know, sometimes on the channel, of course, but even on my own, of course, I'm listening to prog and I'm listening to Genesis and Yes. And like, of course, when I got the time to jam out to them, I'm going to put on Close to the Edge. Like, you know, I'm going to put it on.
You got to find that time though. It's a 10-minute long song.
Yeah. And exactly. And I'm not going to put it on just to listen to like the first part. Like if I'm going to put it on, you got to put it on.
Prog music isn't always the best, like music for every situation. It's one of the best music genres for when you're listening, like when you're really listening to music. But like if you're working, maybe not as much. Or that makes sense.
Yes, because it's weird. Because like I guess I listen to music as I guess most people do, depending on time and mood, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Like when I'm at work, like sitting at the desk, I mean, I really just have on like classical, piano, ambient, you know, because that's
something that's not going to distract you. Yeah,
exactly. If I'm like driving in the car, I'm probably listening to metal or rap, you know?
Yeah.
Or I'm listening to prog because it's a long ride back home. So
yeah, exactly. There you go.
You know, like just for example, like recently I've been listening to this band called Blood Ceremony.
Ooh, that's a cool name.
It is. It's basically think of a mix between Black Sabbath and Jethro Tull.
Hell yeah, that sounds awesome.
If that doesn't get your attention, like that is like, so people have been describing them like that. And I was like, oh, I got to check them out. So it is like, you know, the heaviness of like Black Sabbath, like the flute and organ from like Jethro Tull, with some very like witchy kind of like themes and stuff like that. It's just like a really cool band. So that's been like my recent like go-to right now.
I'm gonna the name of Blood
Ceremony.
Blood Ceremony rock band.
Dude, they're the real deal. The lead singer, she does the flute and the of course vocals, but also
they're
the
relatively
organ.
New too. Flute tinged witch rock. Wow.
Yeah.
References to classic horror films. All right. Do you like horror films?
You know what? I don't watch movies as much as I used to, but when I was really, really in film, I love horror movies. Absolutely. But kind of the same thing. I love like everything. Like I would
sure. Yeah,
expand towards everything. But I watch a lot of horror movies.
I haven't seen a ton of horror movies, but horror has been the genre I shied away from the most for a long period of time. Then it became my favorite genre. Like at one so it's all.
Do you watch Dead Meat?
Yep.
See,
all the time.
See. So this is why we get along, Daniel. This is why we get along.
I love it so much. All right. Dead Meat, great channel. James, this has been the kill count. Yeah,
love it. But like at the time when I was like just taking horror movies, but when I was really getting into them, because I would always look for something new, something that maybe not a lot of people knew, and I would go and watch that.
Sure.
So I was into like, it's called French extremism, I think it was called. Was the genre of horror. And what you just said is basically it was.
I think I know what you're talking about. Oh god.
So this movies like Martyrs, is the popular one, probably, if you've heard of that one.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Okay.
If you know that one, then that's like one of the main films of that genre. So
I think I know what you're talking about.
I went far. I went far. Basically, I went far.
Cool. That's cool, though. You know, that's a art style that not many people are gonna, you know, get too far into. So
yeah, and it's weird because I know that, like, I love saying things that like people don't expect out of me, but like, yeah, that was one of the genres like I love to look at it hard because they would go places no one else would.
Exactly. There you go. Yep. That makes sense.
Kind of like progressive music. It goes places no one else does. It all comes together.
So let me try to rephrase my question of like favorite genre or whatever. Instead, and I'm gonna say a couple things to make this. I'm gonna try to make this a easier question. You know, originally I was just gonna say, what are 5 Stranded on a Desert Island albums? But let's add to that right now, like who you are and where you're at right now, you know, and also it doesn't have to be in any specific order, and we can acknowledge that there is probably way more than 5 Desert Island albums. But what are 5, like off the top of your head, what would be 5 albums that you'd recommend, you know?
Okay, easy. So let's start with my favorite artist of all time, David Sylvian. His album Secrets of the Beehive, which I still proclaim to this day is probably the most influential album in my life. Wow. I can still listen to it over and over and over again. Have you ever heard of him?
I have not, and now I'm very intrigued. Okay,
so on the other video we talked kind of about like singer-songwriter kind of music. So his solo output is kind of in that same realm, and where it's very like singer-songwriter. His voice is very rich and deep. Probably related in some ways to Leonard Cohen.
Wow.
It's much more like reflective and like deep poetic kind of music. And I mean, I listened to that album. I could probably look it up and find out exactly when I started listening to it. But I think I listened to that album probably when I was in high school. So like 2007-ish. And from the moment I heard his voice, I was like, I was just in. So, and I've been listening to his music ever since. And so, yeah, for the first album, David Sylvian, Secrets of the Beehive.
I want to check out a David Sylvian song now.
To me, it is just magical. It just takes me to a completely different place. It's just different, you know?
Wow. All right.
Yeah. Let's bring some Yes into the mix. I'm tossing a few in my head right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm tossing a few.
Did you ever listen to Tales?
Yes, that was the last one I just listened to. Yeah.
Really?
And that one that's one of my balls I'm juggling right now.
Because Tales has like some moments that were very I don't even know how to describe it, but very interesting. Yeah, some like moments that I don't know if I love or if I hate. And the rest of it's really good, you know?
I agree.
Interesting. Now I'm thinking.
See, now you're thinking about it. Because like with Tales, the reason I'm thinking about it in my Desert Island albums is because even like you said, I don't know if I love all of it, but it's adventurous enough and there's enough that I really do love that I could always get something out of it on continued listens.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
I feel like there's something there. So let's throw Tales in there. Hey, why not? Let's throw Tales in there. I feel like there's something very adventurous about it and I could always get something new, you know, on repetition. I love Close to the Edge, but I kind of know it at this point. So I want something that still has a little bit of mystery to me. Kind of like the smoke monster in Lost. Still some mystery, you know?
All right. Nice.
So that's those. Let's throw in some curveball. There's a genre of music that I mention it sometimes, but I don't think a lot of people know I like a lot. I really like deathcore a lot.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, I love deathcore, guys.
Okay.
So I'm going to throw in my favorite deathcore band, which is All Shall Perish. Honestly, you could probably choose any of their albums. Let's just go with their second album, The Price of Existence, which is known as one of the like seminal deathcore albums. like deathcore is one of those genres that gets like made fun of because it's just like yelling and breakdowns and slow down riffs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like they were one of the bands that took that and actually progressed it, like made something different kind of out of it, stretched out the limits of what they could do, tried some different structural kind of things, kind of made more music out of it, you know? So
I almost want to check that out too, because that's a genre that I kind of make fun of sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
So if you're saying that like adds another dimension to it, then yeah, that's cool.
I could toss you a song that, yes, it has those tendencies because, of course, I mean, it's a genre, so I mean, you can't escape it.
Of course.
Yeah, but they expand it so that it's like different, you know, a little different. So let's toss them in there. I have two left.
Two left.
Now I got to think. Those three were really easy to toss in. I'm going to throw in a rap album. I'm going to take one from pretty much every genre.
Yeah, good.
So I'm going to take rap and hip hop, and I will throw in A Tribe Called Quest with Midnight Marauders.
Okay.
On our other video, you had mentioned that you listened to Tupac and Eminem.
Yeah.
And even for people that aren't really big fans of rap or hip hop, I think that A Tribe Called Quest is a band that a lot of people would enjoy. Probably, honestly, even yourself included.
I've been planning on branching out into hip hop on my channel for a while.
Yeah.
I just don't know how my community will respond to that, but eventually I'm just going to be like, screw it. Let's do it anyway. I don't care.
Yeah. Give it a shot, you know? But their lyrics are always like thoughtful and good.
Yeah.
The flow and the rhyming is always great. It's the music, the beats and all that stuff is soulful. Cause pretty much all of their beats is based off of jazz.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's not like, modern day trap and that kind of thing. It's more about like this, the feeling of it, because it's a jazzy, soulful kind of feeling. So I think Midnight Marauders. And then the last one, it's hard, huh?
Yeah.
I have some playing in my mind and I'm like, no.
Again, it can just be off the top of your head, and we're acknowledging that there's probably hundreds more stranded on the Desert Island albums.
Let's do John Coltrane, A Love Supreme.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think that's a good one because that is like the progressive epic of jazz.
Nice.
That's like the Tales from Topographic Oceans of jazz, in my opinion.
Wow.
That's my list. That's the off the top of the head without like sitting down and looking. That's my list.
That's good. I like how you did a very good job of like making it rounded out with lots of different genres in there, because you kind of need that, especially if you're on a desert island.
I want the best of each.
Yeah. That's awesome. And you mentioned that you like listening to all different types of music.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I aspire to do. You've achieved it. Good job. I hope that eventually, like, I personally think that maybe there are a couple super niche subgenres that I just won't love. But I think that for the most part, all the any genre of music probably has its Dark Side of the Moon album,
100%.
Has its, super influential, incredible, musically complex and crazy and adventurous albums. I want to get those best of the best, I want to try to experience all of those,
Yeah.
As a follow-up.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was gonna go on a tangent, but I was gonna say,
do it. I don't mind.
I was gonna say, because one of the hardest things is, for example, let's just take anyone. If you're not a fan of metal, let's just take, for example, it's hard. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's hard to expand yourself to listen to, let's just say, the metal masterpiece. Let's put Master of Puppets, right? That's pretty highly regarded.
Yes.
You have to kind of like put your mind and kind of understand, okay, what makes this type of music great? What makes this album so highly regarded? Because I don't, because I don't like metal. So why do I want to listen to this? So it's almost like you have to like warm yourself up to it, because I think, if I remember correctly, I think a long time ago, like when I was like probably like preteen, I think that I put on Dark Side of the Moon from Pink Floyd. And I got like 2 songs in and I was like, this is boring. I'm done. Right. But I wasn't ready. I wasn't musically ready. I wasn't mature enough. I wasn't mentally ready. I was like a preteen and I wasn't interested in that type of music. Now, so now with age, with time, with my musical expansion, now I get it, so I think part of it comes to that too, where you have to kind of
build up to the masterpiece first by understanding what built up to that point. Yeah. Okay. That's a fair point. I agree. All right. That's good. My follow-up to the 5 Stranded on a Desert album, Stranded on a Desert Island, not album, question. What if you were to recommend to all of your viewers, or my viewers, or whoever's viewers, anyone, one mind-blowing but like underrated, not very well-known album, what would it be?
Secrets of the Beehive by David Sylvian. Once again, it's the easiest answer. I actually don't even have to think about it.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Yeah,
There's no thought.
I'd never heard of the artist or the album before, so yeah.
Dude, whether on camera or not, just
listen to it. Yeah.
I think it's only like 30 or 40 minutes. It's not even like a long album.
Okay.
Just in the dark. Just let the sound wash over you. I think you'll like it.
I think I'm going to do it. So, thank you very much for the recommendation. All right.
That's what I do.
All right. Do you? Let's go with an easy one. Do you have any pets?
Yeah. I do. I have 1 cat whose name is Sake, just like the drink.
Huh.
I was gonna make a wife joke, but I figured, let's just go with the cat. Okay. No, let's just go with the cat. But yeah, she's not a nice cat. I can't see her from here. I was trying to see if she was around, but she's not.
She's not a nice cat.
She's not a nice cat. No.
All right.
She lets me pet her once in a while, and that's kind of it.
Okay, that's fair.
But every night she sleeps with me. So I mean,
all right. Do you love her?
Can't help it. Have to love her.
There you go.
I have to.
That's basically my relationship with my pet. I was not one of those who was like, oh yeah, let's get a cat.
Right.
I didn't really want an animal in the first place. And then, but my sisters and my mom did, and then we got one, and then it's like, yeah, you can't not love it.
Then you can't help it. Yeah.
We got a kitten.
That'll get you every time.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Let's go here. What inspired you to make your channel, or even just to become a YouTuber, or like to pursue this type of, I guess I would call it a creative outlet,
Okay.
What pushed you to the point where you were like, I want to do this,
Yeah. So I think we had kind of talked about this before in our interview with you.
Yep.
But kind of in the same path, like I had a lot of channels leading up to where I am today. So kind of in the beginning of YouTube, I mean, I think everyone kind of starts their first 1 or 2 channels of kind of just like either personal stuff or like jokey stuff, like simple, kind of like, joke videos or whatever, nothing fancy. But then you start thinking like, I got some good ideas. Maybe I can kind of do something with this. So the first channel that I did, even if it wasn't seriously about the YouTube side of it, it was more just making a channel for my music that I was creating at the time. Like I'm thinking high school kind of age.
Wow.
Like I said, it was more so just to have my music out there, just like to be there. So I did the channel for that. And it was mostly like instrumental hip hop beats with like a lot of ambience, because I've always liked that. I've always liked a lot of space and things like that. So
that's really cool.
Yeah. So it's funny because maybe a few years ago, I went back to that channel. I'm like, let's make all these videos private for just personal listening. I'm like, these are horrible.
Oh, really? Oh, that's sad.
I went back and I was like, I would never listen to this. What is this? So I made like some of them private. So I could still listen to them just for nostalgia, you know?
All right. I was about to ask you if anyone could find your other channels, but all right, cool.
You can. No, you can. I've mentioned them in the past before, and specifically with the music one, even though, you know, pandemic has kind of shut it down a little bit, but on the side, outside of like normal job, like I have played music for gigs and stuff like that. And that's what I was doing, like as kind of like another part-time thing. So all my music was under that name, which is Abstract in the Sky. There's not really much there now, but
Abstract in the Sky.
Yeah, so there's stuff there. Ooh, but so when I do gigs and stuff, like I said, I haven't done anything recently because everything's shut down.
Sure.
But when I do, that's pretty much my like stage name, for like a better word, and that's what I perform under and that kind of stuff. So, but it's mostly like live stuff and like private events. So there's not really a lot of videos for that kind of thing. It's more like I'm just in person playing music and stuff like that. So that's that.
Awesome. I did not know that about you. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's that musical YouTube channel kind of thing. But the first major thing that I did previously to this was my wife and I actually had a gaming channel. We did called Love and Lag. That was like our personas. Like she was Love, I was Lag. It has alliteration. It just sounds good. So
sure, yeah.
So we did that for like a few years, and you can look it up. There's one video I have on that channel where I did a parody of the song Panda, which was popular for a while, like years back. And there was a parody I did of it called Yoshi. That video got to like 1 million and something views, like, like so quick.
Are you kidding me?
And like, yeah, and it wasn't anything that like I really had a passion for. I just thought it was a funny idea. And I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. Let's do that. And then it blew up and I was like, oh.
Yoshi Panda parody.
Yeah.
1.6 million views.
Isn't this so random? I just did it as like a funny joke I thought was cool to myself. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's awesome, man. Wow.
It's so random. But it wasn't really what I wanted to do. I just wanted to play video games with my wife and talk, you know.
Sure.
That was kind of like a one-off kind of thing. So we did that for a few years. And then honestly, we just kind of slipped off of it. Just kind of got tedious having to sit down and record and do all that stuff, you know. You know you know the process. And even though I enjoyed it, it was just like, okay, set everything up, get everything together. Okay, where we leave off, and it was just kind of tedious.
Yeah. Not the game grumps, I guess.
Yeah, not quite. Tried to. I wanted to be Aaron, but you know, what can you do?
You actually wanted to be Aaron, huh?
Well, you know, I want to be in positions like them.
Okay,
yeah. I think it was.
I used to watch them all. I used to watch them.
Oh,
all
yeah.
the time.
They're funny. So I would say it was around this point that Lost in Vegas, they started popping off and they started doing their thing. And I was watching their videos and I was like, I like these guys. These are really cool. I like to talk about music. I like music. Maybe I could do something kind of like that. Which I think that Lost in Vegas like blew up like a bunch of people, you know? So,
let me think. I'm not entirely. I think who was King KTF. You ever seen his channel before?
I've heard of him, but I don't know if I've seen him.
I saw him before. I think before I saw Lost in Vegas. I think, and then like before the music niche of reactions blew up, there was like 4 different channels that monopolized the idea of reacting to stuff, and they would react to other YouTube videos. It wouldn't be to music.
I've seen those. Yeah,
they had millions upon millions of followers. Like I'm not even kidding. Like, and for the most part, most of them like weren't even like giving much commentary, like doing exactly what I kind of said. I can't stand it when channels do. And because they're reacting to like YouTube videos, they're not getting copyright claimed or anything.
Right.
So, like to me, that's like actively stealing other
right.
content. But yeah, that was like the beginning of the reaction channels. Then when you start doing music and, you know, I feel like because the things get copyright claimed, it makes me personally feel better about like uploading videos.
Like what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. If I was like making money off of my videos where I have other people's art, I would like feel, I would probably stop doing it and do something.
Feel like else. A parasite on their back. You're like,
yeah.
Like
that. But anyway, all right. So you found Lost in Vegas. Was there anything past that built up to, or you just saw that and were like, I'm going to do it now, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't, because I didn't really like watch any, I didn't know about reaction channels in the first place before I saw them. Then I found them actually on Reddit, because Reddit is kind of like part of where they like really blew up.
Really interesting.
Because they were already like at a certain level, but Reddit's kind of one of those places that if you get on there and you get on the front page, you get skyrocketed, you know?
That's what happened to Hobo Johnson when he first got big. Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, he made a live video which like threw a lot of people off, and he got like everyone had an opinion on him for like a month. Like either people really loved his stuff or a lot of people really hated him. Oh man. Anyway,
yes.
Yeah.
So I saw that, and then I mean I watched them for months before even thinking about it. I was just enjoying them, you know, doing their thing. And then I was like, I want to do something like this. I want to talk about music. I like listening to music and stuff. I'm already exploring music on my own, so it just felt like a natural movement to film myself doing it.
Sure.
You know, which is like why on my Twitter bio, like kind of what you put on yours, mine is just like I film myself for the enjoyment of others or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but something like that. So on my own, I'm already like exploring all these different genres. It was like, oh, why not? Why not just do it?
Sure, of course.
Yeah. So my friend Manny, I mean, we've always literally like all of our lives growing up, we tried to like do channels together. We've tried to do music together. We've always tried to do something together, and it just never like worked out. So I brought the idea to him, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. So that was the first channel, JPMP, was where me and him started.
Okay.
And so we did that for like 2 years, like consistently. I think it was about 2 years or so, something like that. And then he had a baby, so his time was kind of like taken a little bit. Yeah. And I still wanted to kind of like listen to music and stuff. So I was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, well, let's just do this. I'll start my own channel, and then whenever we have time, we'll just do what we always do, you know, and go from there. So that's where JustJP started.
JP, wow.
Which works in so many ways, because it's just me. Justin is my name. JP are my initials. It just, the name just fell in my lap.
That's really good. I like it. So the other one, the other one's called just JPNP.
JPMP, yeah, because it was both of our initials, JP for me, and then MP like man for him.
JPNP. Reactions, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, no, it should just be under JPMP. Yeah, but that was where we basically started and kind of ignited everything, and everything kind of left off from there. And we don't upload like regularly anymore, because the point was we didn't have the time to as much as before. But now every once in a while when we can, we get together for like either like a review or some sort of discussion, just something, you know, something to kind of toss out there.
For some reason, I can't seem to find it, but all right, maybe I'll ask you for a link at some point.
Did I delete the channel? No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, anyone who's watching this, I forgot to mention this at the very beginning, but there's going to be a link down below in the description to JP's channel, so go check it out. You know, go watch his video, watch our interview if you want, and subscribe to his channel and watch his reactions and stuff. You know, but anyway, all right. Let's see. So that's pretty cool. I did not realize. Yeah, that's really cool that we had a similar trajectory when it came to, you know, starting with a bunch of other channels. because I also started with multiple different collaboration channels with my friends, but we all have very different, like, I guess, tastes in content, you know, what we're inspired to do at any given point. Right now, the weird channel that I'm doing with someone else,
the secret channel.
Yeah, the secret channel. That channel is like, it's a lot easier for us to do it because we have like a basic concept that we both agree with, and then we upload separately whatever we want. And yeah, it works pretty well. Anyway, all right. Do you mind sharing what are some things that you do like outside of YouTube? Or actually, let me restate that. What's an aspect of your life that your viewers might not know, or a side of you that your viewers might not have seen yet, like a personality trait or hobbies or anything really that the majority of your audience might not know yet?
I'm trying to think of something I haven't shared in some parts. I mean, I play music. I haven't like talked. I don't talk a lot about me playing music because I don't consider myself like a great musician by any means. Like I've said before, like I play drums. Like I have an electronic drum set over here, and I've been drumming since I was like, I don't know, late high school. But I drum for fun. Like I don't drum necessarily to like be better. I know it's weird, but I don't drum to like be like the greatest drummer ever or anything like that.
That's not weird. I mean, if you enjoy
it's a hobby.
You know? It's a hobby. Yeah.
I drum because it's fun and it just sounds cool. So I'm like a very average drummer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, but I'm cool. You know, I love it.
Yeah.
And then I play handpan, which I've shown sometimes on camera, but I haven't shown a lot. But it's basically like a type of steel drum. That is what I play like when I do gigs and stuff like that. So that's like a random instrument that not a lot of people know that I play.
That's really cool.
And then I ordered a dulcimer. So I have a dulcimer on the way. I kind of hinted at it in one of my videos, but I actually ordered it because I love like random instruments. I love like things that like not a lot of other people are doing. So I don't have an interest in guitar. I've played bass. I just don't have the time to invest once again into a bass. And yet at the same time, I've just bought a dulcimer, a whole new instrument that I've never played in my life, and I'll sit there and figure it out. So, so I like to look into random stuff like that, and then just like sit there and figure it out and just play around with it, you know?
Have you found from your experiences with different musical instruments that they like learning one really well, kind of that some of that knowledge transferred over into the other? And do you also find that like listening to lots of music helps you play music?
Yeah, so definitely to both those questions. So I would guess that like in a sense, I would consider myself a percussionist. Sure. Because besides the drums, like if I'm looking to my left, I'll grab it. Here, why not? It's right here, right? Yeah, I'll grab it. I'm not going to play it, but I have a darbuka, which is like a kind of like Arabic drum.
Yeah.
So this is really cool. I have a wooden cajon over there as well. And the handpan itself is considered a percussion instrument. So I guess like in totality, like all the movements and stuff work together really well. And then with the dulcimer, honestly, that's going to be something kind of totally new because besides the bass, which I was very, very novice at, I've never really gotten into stringed instruments at all. So that's going to be something kind of completely different. But we kind of mentioned before in the other interview about, you know, the struggle and how that makes you better. And with stuff like that, that's how I've always been. I've always loved just learning the instrument, just sitting there, messing around with it. Not in an overconfident way, but at least to a basic extent, I'll figure it out, you know? So I'm looking forward to that because it'd be a totally new challenge that I haven't done anything like before.
That's awesome. That's exciting, man.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And then with the other question, you know, has the music I've been listening to changed kind of how I want to make my music? 100%. You know, like it's funny because I'm like, I never thought I could really do that. You know,
they push the boundaries so much.
Yeah.
They push the envelope and watch it bend.
Yeah, like I'm like, okay, so let me take progressive off my list because I'm not gonna do anything like that. I can't. I wouldn't want to anyway.
Sure.
But just the idea of someone doing it means that if I wanted to pursue that, like I could do that. And if I wanted to push even further, I could do that.
The ultimate idea, like you can even apply it to hip hop, you know, or something like that. And I think people have. And like if I start getting into that genre, I might like try to look for stuff that did like a concept album that's a stuff like that. So I think that the basic concepts of progressive music being not verse chorus chorus.
Yeah.
Just that basic idea of we're going to make music that progresses as it goes along and takes you on a journey. I think that's the cool part. You don't it's cool to be, but you don't have to be, you know, or ELP godlike levels of playing instruments to be able to make a song that's progressive in nature, you know? I think that those elements of adding unpredictability to your music is something I wish more artists would emulate, and I hope that I can emulate, and hope that it's very cool. Anyway,
I mean, like one of the simplest things. This is such a simple take that I've taken from listening to progressive bands, but just the simplicity of playing in a different time signature.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's such a simple thing, but like I never thought of playing in a totally different time signature and changing how the actual music moves. So now I've been working on a song in 7/8 because I just find that is like really fun to play in. So, but I would have never thought about that if I have never listened to how other bands would do that, you know?
That's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to make a 20-minute epic, but if I wanted to, you know,
you probably, all right.
I could try, but it's not my thing.
All right. Now I'm going to steal some of your questions.
Please.
What do you think is the hardest thing about being a YouTuber?
The hardest thing about being a YouTuber. I don't think there's one overwhelmingly hard thing for me personally. There's not one obstacle that's like the looming cloud of doom, as I would call it, you know, that's like overweighing me or anything like that. I would say because this is just how I am, I guess, but I'm very personal towards my audience, I guess.
Sure.
Like I try to consider everybody. I try to not make everybody happy because I know I can't and I don't try to, but I try to at least give everybody a little bit of time, a little bit of me, you know? And so, for example, like everyone wants their recommendation heard, of course. I mean, sure. Naturally, you know? Just like, hey, I want you to listen to David Sylvian, Secrets of the Beehive. I mean, it's a mind-blowing album.
Yeah.
But like, I try to consider everybody. So a small part of me gets disappointed when I know I can't get to someone's like request right away or anytime soon because I have other stuff that I'm trying to get through, you know? So that's part of it, I would say. Schedule-wise can sometimes be difficult. But that hasn't been like a huge thing schedule wise because I do record ahead of time.
Okay.
Yeah, and I always have, and that's why some reasons or sometimes I'll take like a week off of doing like nothing. Like I'll just here they go, you know. So I record ahead of time so I don't have to like.
I've started doing that more often, but
yeah, no, I always record. I always try to keep at least 2 weeks ahead. That's me because that way that's me because I know like I could record every day and just like put something out there, but if I want to take a week off, I'm going to take a week off to re-energize, refresh. I don't have to have the stress or the pressure of I got to do another video today. I got to get another video out today, you know. I actually took some time off work 2 weeks ago or last week, so I could record more.
Really?
So I could do what I call the fake YouTuber lifestyle, where I didn't have to wake up for a real job. I just woke up, record, edited, took a hike, enjoyed life, and then I'd do the same thing the next day. So I did like the fake YouTuber job thing for a few days.
That's nice, actually.
Yeah, which was kind of cool. I mean, honestly, it was kind of cool.
Let's do that more often.
Yeah, I was like, huh. So this is what it's like being a YouTuber. I could do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say those are the hardest things on that level.
Yeah, I definitely see that as what let me think. I used to feel that way about requests. Like I'd be pretty upset if I couldn't I couldn't include everybody, you know?
Right.
But then I think maybe it was after a lot of people like, I don't know, were like just certain people's like their way of talking to me or something made it change a little bit to where it's like, you know what? Listen here. I don't care if everyone requests it, you know. Sometimes I just won't do it.
Yeah.
So, you know. But
yeah.
But in general, yeah, I totally understand what you mean about the trying to please everybody, even though it's like impossible.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, I really am not of that mindset anymore because I really don't try to please. I mean, I'm not going to try to do the impossible. I would never.
Of course.
But a part of me still wants to, like, you know, especially when I notice names that have been there for like months or even years.
Same. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I try to like want to give them something, you know? So it's like a small little back and forth. And this is also a random one, but I don't try to as much anymore because it just took too much time. But trying to reply to everybody, not necessarily in YouTube itself, because that's just impossible, but trying to reply to emails, to private tweets or messages.
I tried to do that too. Yeah.
You know,
it gets to a certain point where you just can't anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm at that point. You know, I can't. It
takes so much. People don't. And I encourage people to like reach out to me if they want to.
Yeah.
But I really wish, and obviously this is like, I wish the expectation from the get-go was you can send me a message and maybe I'll read it, but don't think that I'm going to respond, you know? Because once it gets to a certain point, you know, if I have in Patreon
that too.
99 plus unread messages.
Yeah.
Because I get like emails, you know, so I'll read the email, but then I won't actually go into the app or not app, the website or whatever. So I like read everything people send me. I just don't always respond to it because, you know, 100 different responses, and I don't really like. Maybe if I tried writing more generic responses, it'd be better. But I don't like doing that.
Yeah, no,
writing the generic thanks.
Exactly.
Smiley face.
Exactly.
Be sure to check it out. You know, I can't just copy and paste that.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. No, it was funny because like I think that you and I are exactly the same way in that and that's one of the things that I liked about your channel in the first place was that you were personal. You weren't just copy pasting Control-C, Control-V. Thanks.
Yeah, no,
you know, like,
I don't.
You give a part of yourself. You know,
I used to try to heart every comment in my comments because I do read all of them. At least I think I do. You know, like, I try to read all of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. At some, I try to read all of them, but at some point, hearting them became like just like stupid because hearting them almost like implies that I agree with them sometimes. And sometimes I like just want to say I acknowledged it, but that I don't necessarily agree with. Yeah, it became weird, so I kind of stopped doing that.
Yeah,
I still try to read every comment. Anyway, all right.
Yeah, I think that I read almost every comment. I say that nowadays I do probably 90% comments.
Yeah,
I used to try to be that 100 guy. But then it gets to that point where you're like, I can't keep up with this, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so I do a mixture of like the hearts and the comments. You know, I try to do both, but sometimes, and I actually check the comments. Actually, I have a question for you. How often do you check the comments? I'm switching the interview a little bit.
Let's see.
I'm curious.
I don't. So that's the thing. I often get sucked into this void, of scrolling Twitter or Instagram or looking at Facebook, or same thing with the comments. I'll go into the comments and just scroll through them and
yeah.
But yeah, so it depends. Like I uploaded a reaction, not a reaction. I uploaded my little thing of myself playing, and I wanted to know how people would like respond to it. So I was like checking the comments every like 20 minutes when it came up with that one for the first like couple hours.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll check it quite a bit right after a video comes out, maybe like an hour after it's published. I'll check it and see what some of the, I'll just scroll through them. And then, yeah, on a basis, I'll probably check it twice or 3 times a day, but sometimes we'll not do it in a day because I won't even be on the computer that day because I'm not on the computer all the time.
Right.
Because I do have a life.
Yeah. See, like what I do, part of my routine, like I wake up in the morning and I check the comments really quick. I just look through to see like what's going on. My videos typically upload at about 8:30 in the morning. By that time, I'm at work, so I'm not even thinking about it really, too much.
Sure, yeah.
Sometimes when I'm on break, I'll like go back and look through really quick. I may respond to a few at that time, but it's more just like a quick kind of browse.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. And then later after work, when I'm like either editing or I'm waiting for things to process, then I'll sit down and like go through. So I probably check 2 to 3 times a day, but typically at one point is when I sit there and like talk, like, comment back and stuff like that. Usually at the end of the day,
Yeah, that's good. That's good
I was just curious. I just wanted to know how you did it. I just wanted to learn.
See, so in my brief discussions with you so far, you have a daily routine and stuff, I personally, and this is just me, and I'll probably stop thinking this at some point, but anytime I start to fall into a routine, I start to like hate
right. I understand.
Bit.
Yeah.
It's like, so I don't, I try not to do that too much. So I do not have any specific set way of doing things. Plus, sometimes I'll go into a phase where I like won't even look at emails,
right,
tweets, comments, or anything, and I'll just like make a bunch of content, or I'll just not be on the computer all day and do other things, and obviously, like, aside from all that, and again, did you flip this interview?
Hey, this I told you.
But then aside from that, obviously, I'm in school. I'm doing dual enrollment, so I'm taking college classes and high school at the same time.
Yeah. You're hating it.
So, and then, I've had a few different jobs. I've worked at a warehouse packaging computers. I've, had a dog walking business thing at one point. Helped my sisters run like a lemonade stand a few obviously that's not a job, but
hey, a little known fact.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other things that I have going on in my life aside from a reaction channel. So you got it. You gotta do other things sometimes. But
see, like for myself, like I've etched out a schedule for myself because I wanted to have some sort of order in my life, whereas I'm not typically the person to do that.
Okay.
Typically, I'm very just like, I'll do this whenever I can. I'll do this whenever I can. And I'll do this whenever I can. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Now I've been working towards a schedule and I finally have it kind of down where Monday through Wednesday, I pretty much don't do anything channel related except maybe like the comments, like I had mentioned before. Like that's it. And that's like not effort. That's just talking basically.
Sure.
Thursday after, and this is all after a typical 8 to 5 job. Thursday nights, if I want to, I may record one or two. Just that's like a free night. I can if I want to, but I don't have to. Friday, Saturday, Sunday are my recording and editing days. That's when I record, edit, get it on YouTube. So for the next few days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, again, I don't have to think about it, you know? So I can use those days after work to work out, to watch, to play Overwatch. I don't know, to do whatever I want. Like I can relax those days, you know? Yeah. Whereas the weekends is pretty much my work for YouTube, basically.
Got to get the content out and all that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's what's kind of like work for me, because during the day, it's not like I really do a lot anyway. So it just works out for me that, and plus, I mean, this is my passion still, you know, this is still what I enjoy to do. So it's not like it's work. It's like, cool. I guess I get to listen to prog on the weekends. Sure. Cool. I get to listen to some new stuff on the weekends. That's awesome. Because even on my own, I'm still listening to my own stuff, you know? So
yeah. Is that what you'd consider being like the most fun part of your channel or of being a YouTuber? You know, what would you consider the most fun part of being a YouTuber? So the music?
It's the music, yeah, because like it is something I get to look forward to.
Yeah,
every week. So like I still do my own exploration of bands on my own, which
I do too, and it's so hard to do it too because like, I wish I could be recording this, but whatever.
Like,
I'm not gonna.
Yeah. No, like I listen to like I've been listening to. I mean, I told you deathcore, right? So like, I was listening to some new stuff earlier, and I was like, man, this is really cool. I'd love to do this in front of the camera. No, my audience would not like this at all, so I'm not gonna bother. I'll save it for myself. So like, there's stuff like that where like I'm just like, I'll listen to this for myself, you know.
It could grow your audience, though. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Like that's like, again, I want my channel to eventually have something from every genre on it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm hoping that there can be something for everyone on there. Hopefully, and I hope my viewers understand this as well. Like you guys don't have to watch every video I upload. If you don't, you know, like a specific artist, or you listen to it for, you know, 5 seconds and you're like, okay, Opeth isn't for me, then you can, you know, click off, you know? Anyway.
Yeah. Cause like, I think for me, it kind of goes back to like, I listen to everything. So like, I still keep up with like, not like radio artists, honestly, cause it's just not my thing. I personally have nothing against it, but it's just not my thing personally.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like, you know, it's whatever.
Not really. Yeah.
Yeah. It's there for those who like it. It's just not my personal thing.
Yep.
But there's still like tons and tons of artists and people that are like putting out awesome music. I mean, like awesome music, but like, it's almost like that's my stuff. You know, like I get to listen to that on my own and just like kind of chill with it. While I save like the 70s and all that kind of stuff, like for the channel, you know?
Okay. That's so these are good mindsets that you have on it.
Because it's funny because sometimes I'll get comments like, how can you love this band or this song, but you haven't listened to it again? Or recently. And I'm like, well, I'll get to it probably in a few weeks or a month or so. But I have so much other music I'm really enjoying that it's not like I'm losing something. I'm like getting something from kind of both ends, you know?
So yeah, it's weird.
Like, I'm having a great time.
There you go.
I get the best of both worlds.
Do you actually, let me start this by saying, and I guess I'm getting close to the end of my list of questions, but do you have any YouTubers that you like that I guess inspire you? Like it doesn't even have to be a reaction channel, or any YouTubers that you like look up to at all?
It's a good question. And I'm wearing merchandise from one right now. So be honest.
Which channel? Which channel is
Northern Line.
Northern Line. Okay.
Yeah. So he's like a gamer, gaming commentary, that kind of thing. He's probably my favorite YouTuber that I watch. Just the way that he speaks. I mean, that's what one of the things he's known for is like, but whatever game he's playing, he just like speaks perfectly. He's just very eloquent with what he's talking about. He's funny, being natural. Like he's just really cool like that. So not that I try to like copy him, but I take his I look towards his like it's a C word I'm thinking of. Charisma. His charisma is what I like. So I try to like take that from him. There's another YouTuber that plays with him sometimes, Dan Giesling. And he's like really funny. He's just like really silly, but like in a normal way. You know what I mean? Like he's not necessarily acting like someone else. He's just kind of like being himself.
Sure.
But it's silly. And he's not overly, that's bad. He's like really, really positive with everything he does. So his positivity definitely inspires me. Because that's one thing.
That's really good.
Yeah, because that's one thing I like, or I try to do in my channel, is always inspire positivity. I always try to be positive. That's the energy I want to put out there.
Positive
even
vibes,
if, always. Even if I don't like a song, even if I hate a song, because I'll say if I don't like a song, but I still want it to be like a positive reinforcement. One thing that I always think, this is something I always try to think of. If I'm ever talking about a band, let's say I'm listening to some band and I really hate the song, like I really don't like it. I always try to think, what if the band is watching? How would I say that I don't like the song without hurting the band? And I mean, if I'm talking about a band like Metallica, they don't care. They don't care that I don't like them. But if I'm talking about maybe a smaller band, maybe they're up and coming or something like that, I never want to hurt them. So that's my mindset. I always think, how can I talk about this song that I really don't like, that I just heard, in a way that even if the band were listening or the artist heard me, they wouldn't necessarily feel like shriveled up. Like they would be like, oh, like hurt.
Wow, that's actually a really good mindset to have.
Yeah. I just always try to think that, because I never want to hurt someone else, even if I don't like the music or whatever, which is all subjective, of course. But
exactly, yeah.
And I mean, it's very rare that I listen to a song and I like hate it.
And like just all of it,
Yeah. It's really rare because once again, like I'm used to hearing a lot of different things. So I can usually find some part of it that at least is a positive aspect.
Yeah.
Even if it's a positive aspect that I don't like, Like I did a song actually the other day. It was by Television called Marquee Moon. Have you listened to that one?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. So that's like a very like popular song in that genre. I think it's like punk or proto punk, or I don't know exactly, to be honest.
Okay.
I didn't really like the song that much, to be honest. Okay. And you can always look at the dislikes. I love it. Anytime I don't like a song, you can always go to the dislikes and see it. But
it's so messed up too, because people want you to be honest.
I know.
Like, the same thing happens on my channel. Yeah. People will get mad if I make like any negative comment. Yeah. It's
funny, but at the same time, I see the dislikes as, hey, at least I was honest, so it's okay.
That's true. Yeah.
But even in that song, like I was like, oh, the guitars was really good. I really like the drumming. I like the pattern. I like how they structured it. I didn't love the voice, but I could see how it fit in this kind of mood. So like I always try to balance with what I say,
And that's a very good trait to have. That I've been trying. That's another way my channel has evolved a little bit, is I've tried to personally make that more of the case over here. Like when let me think, what are some that I think one of my most infamous reactions was to Alice's Restaurant, the song.
Okay.
Which I liked the song. That's what makes it even more interesting. I think I like copied his like singing style at the end and kind of like made fun of it. And, that did not go over well. Which makes sense. Like in retrospect, I'm looking at it and I'm like, why did I think that like the people who click on this video are going to be majority, fans of that
artist?
Of it. Yep. Why would I, so I always try to find something positive that I like in a song, because it makes sense. It's like you said, foster positivity. Still, be honest, but try to find positive as well. Like you said, balance. So anyway, I'm just reiterating.
Exactly. By this point, I kind of think of like the I don't remember exactly how they say it, but the sandwich. Start positive, put in the negative, end positive.
Yeah.
I always want the last thing said to be positive. as much as possible, you know. So sometimes at the end or whatever, I'll say, decent song, not my favorite. Maybe there'll be another song from the band that I'll enjoy more. Let me know.
Yeah, there you go.
Because there may be, you know, I might hate the whole band. Who knows? But but we can try.
All right. Here's my last big question. All right.
Yes.
Do you have any plans for bigger projects on YouTube or elsewhere in a creative space? Any plans at all?
So I would think that if I'm taking it outside the channel, one of my goals, I missed it last year, but hopefully I can do it this year. Hopefully, I would love to actually work on and finish my own album. So that's my goal. Yes. I'm slowly getting all the stuff I need to do it. This dulcimer included.
I'm so excited for that, man. You have no idea.
Because I think it would be so awesome to like do it and do what I want to do. I'm not going to like cater. I'm going to do what I want to do. But like have other people, have you like listen to the song and do reactions to it. Cause I would love to be on the other side of that.
I'm going to do it.
Absolutely.
You know it, man. I'm going to do it.
That's I would love to hear that.
That's so awesome. Yeah. I'm so freaking like I'm stoked right now. I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah. So I'm still like in the writing phase and kind of getting that kind of thing done. Cause I come up the way I write, I think of concepts first, like thematic concepts.
Sure.
Before I even think about music. I'll make the music to fit the story I want to tell. Even though the story I want to tell and my music is always instrumental. So I don't do any vocals. It's just not what I want to do. And I've always liked instrumental music. So I like to tell the story through the instruments themselves. Let them speak, you know, and I'll kind of tell the story through that and the title. So that's my goal. Will I be able to do it at the end of this year? I don't know. I'm not going to rush it. I'll kind of do whatever, you know, comes.
I have a question for you. This is from me, who I'm an aspiring artist who wants to try, and I'm trying to get time in a studio at some point in the future to try and record a couple songs and maybe make an EP. That's my goal at some point for any big projects in the future. But as someone trying to do that, so you said you're gathering materials. What do you, if you care to share it with us, like what type of things are you looking for? Like
gathering
software for it?
So for myself, with what I want to do, my music has always been like a mix between instrumental hip hop. And when I say instrumental hip hop, like, I mean, like more like almost relaxing kind of beats, like a mix between that and real instruments, just kind of playing along with it, playing over it, doing whatever, something like that. And I've always wanted and kind of worked towards making almost like a, not ambient music because it's too slow and too quiet, but something like that, but with more groove. So that's kind of like direction wise where I'm heading. So what I'm gathering, I already have my program, which is FL Studio, which is like what every producer uses.
FL Studio.
Yeah. So that's like for the beats and the electronic stuff and that kind of thing, the production side of it.
All right.
So I have that already. I have my electronic drum kit, so I can actually like play drums on it, you know.
So is the electronic drum kit, does that mean it's that little square thing that has a bunch of little buttons on it, or does it mean a literal drum set?
If I can turn this, let's see. Let's see how well it focuses. Let's see.
Oh, so it's literal.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm so glad.
So let's see if I can censor this again.
Thanks.
So I have that. Yeah, no, definitely. So that's set. Of course, like I showed you before, my darbuka and my cajon, I can add some extra percussion if I want to there. My handpan, which is in the closet, that'll be my other main instrument that I'll play on top of.
Sure.
And then my dulcimer. So
right. What do you
mostly
use to record it?
So I'm going to use my H5, which is the same thing I use to record the reaction videos with like the microphone and the audio and everything. It's like just the perfect like recorder for everything. It works in pretty much every setting for whatever you need it to do.
Awesome.
So I'll use that for the recording process, and it's just kind of like getting all the wood together to light this fire, basically.
I'm really excited to hear it, and I'm excited for you. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah. No, I have no idea how it's going to turn out. It might be a death metal song. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll
we'll see.
do you, my friend. All right. And I guess I'm going to end with I've done, let me see, a couple interviews in the past, and I've always ended with the question you ended yours on. So I'm gonna ask you that question as well.
Okay, I forgot what it was.
Do you have any advice for those aspiring to do things similar to what you do, whether it's making beats and music, or whether it's making YouTube videos, whether it's specifically reaction videos? What are some advice do you have for people aspiring to be like you in any way? You know,
I would say if you're aspiring to be a YouTuber, to me, the first thing is to find your niche. Find your niche, make it something personal, find something that interests you, like yourself, whether that is music. Okay, there's a lot of music YouTubers. What type of music do you like? Okay, I like metal. There's a lot of metal YouTubers. What do you want to do with it? I want to dissect it and deconstruct it and talk about it. Okay, you want to do a reaction channel? There's a lot of meta reaction. You know, you got to break it down. Where can you go? Where is there a pocket that needs to be filled that you think you could actually find an audience? Because it's hard enough, especially now, to get on YouTube, start a channel, and grow.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's doing it. I think there was a statistic that came out, and I don't know the number, so I'm just going to make something up. But it was something like, I don't know, 10,000 channels are made every day. Something like that.
And like, wasn't it something like 6 billion hours of YouTube is consumed every like week or something crazy like that?
And some crazy number of videos are uploaded every day. So, I mean,
oh man, that was a crazy number.
Yeah. If like, this isn't the Wild West anymore of YouTube, where you could like search for something, it would show nothing, no search results found. And then you say, okay, I'll do that. Like now everything's on here. So find a niche, and then find your audience, you know, wherever you find like a small spark, make it into a fire. Don't necessarily like give yourself up, but work with your audience, use them to help you grow. They grow with you. Everything kind of like works together, you know? And then I would also say like a big thing is don't take anything personally. I think that could be for like the whole internet, especially YouTube. Especially like us, like we have our faces on camera. We're like not like hidden YouTubers. I mean, we're out here. Daniel, Justin, like we're out here, you know?
Yep.
So we put ourselves in a different kind of space, especially being in front of people. So never take anything personally. You're going to have trolls. You're going to have people that, like a parasocial relationship, think that they're closer to you than they are, and they want to talk in a different way or act a different way, or they expect something from you that you never promised, or, you know, anything like that. So there always has to be some sort of barrier between you and the audience. I think that for us personally, I think that our barrier is pretty thin, which is nice because we're very close to our audience. But you never want to take the barrier down. You know, you never want to take it completely down. There has to be something. You don't want to take things too personally. Don't let anyone, you know, get up your skirt, for lack of a better word. Don't let anyone rustle your jimmies, as they say.
They say that?
Someone says that. I heard someone say that once.
Okay, cool.
I heard someone say that once. And just be yourself. I think that's it. I mean, be who you are, you know? I don't run like a show. You know, I know some YouTubers like to do like a show, and that's cool. That's their thing.
That's their thing, yeah.
Yeah, but I like to just be me. You know, what you see is what you get. Sometimes I play things up slightly, but I mean, that's for the fun of it, you know? So
yeah, I mean,
I think that's it, you know?
All right.
Be you. Be you. That's all you need. Just be you. That's it.
Thank you so much for being with me, Justin. I appreciate it. It's awesome.
Dude, thank you.
Thank you for agreeing to do this. And thank you all for watching. Again, link in the description. Go check out Justin's channel.
That way. Yeah.
Go check out Justin's channel. You can watch my conversation with him, or the flip side of this. Although I'm trying to remember if there was ever a moment in the last one where I don't know. Where it like stopped, where it became more of a conversation than an interview,
Probably somewhere around like the 40-minute mark, somewhere in there.
All right. Yeah. See you guys soon.
Thank you.
Justin, any last things you'd like to say?
Thank you so much. We are Legion, and I'll see you later.
All right.
Am I allallowed to say that? I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Okay. I don't know.
We all say that here, my friend. All right. Bye.
Later.